Hello cozy friends, and welcome to a cozy week in my life vlog. My goals for this week are to finish my audiobook of Heir of Fire today because it is due back to the library. Last night I was able to get to 85% from 55, and it's a 19-hour audiobook, so I listened to like many hours yesterday. Like I just knit up a storm and listened to my audiobook, which was so nice because this is one of my absolute favorite books in the world. I've been sharing my process of the August sweater, and my goal this week is to finish the body. I do need to go to Lincraft and grab some more of the wool for that because I am short. I did the yarn math in yards, not meters, which is such an American mistake. So once I redid the math, I realized I needed like 2 or 3 more balls of wool. I had the best weekend. I made a friend here in Canberra. She found one of my videos. She's like, hi, I live in Canberra and I also like books and knitting. And I was like, okay, say less, we're gonna be best friends. So we planned a knitting date and then found out that there was gonna be a wool expo the same day we were gonna be meeting. So we actually went to that. It was my first yarn festival. We had so much fun shopping all the beautiful squishy yarns. We bought some sock yarns and we bonded. And it was so exciting to make a friend who loves the same hobbies as me. And then on Sunday, we had a little Mother's Day brunch to make up for the past weekend because my son was born right after Mother's Day. So we kind of wanted to do his birthday one weekend and then Mother's Day the next. And it was so wonderful. It's so nice to get to know the area here and like visit the little cafes. After going to the cafe yesterday, we also did a little bit of a book crawl, but it ended early because my son was very tired and ready for a nap. But we went to 2 bookstores, and I will put their names down here, but they were so cute. And I got a few books, which is so nice because I haven't had any physical books with me since we moved here. We only brought what we could fit in our suitcases. So as far as books goes, I only brought my Kindle and I was able to pick up a few books. So I was thinking about doing a little book haul here. I picked up Wayward. I recently read Wayward on my Kindle and I loved it so much that when I saw this physical copy, I was like, I need to own this book. So in my favorite books of all time video, I talked about some of my favorite tropes in books, and now I'm really trying to lean into that so that I can find more books I just love. And I'm also picking up books that will inspire the books I'm planning. I have been studying story and writing for well over a year now, and I have 2 books that I'm currently in the plotting, outlining phase on. One of them has to do with soulmates and past lives. The other has to do with sirens and breaking generational curses, which is so exciting. So I tried to pick up some books that will inspire that. One of them, which has to do with sirens, I actually feel like was such a miss because this is the 2nd book in a series. I didn't realize that when I grabbed it. But when I was reading the synopsis, I thought it would help inspire just to see how other people are writing sirens. But I do have other siren books that I know and love, so I would probably pick those up first. I just don't have them with me physically, so I would probably need to get the ebooks to be able to get some inspiration from them. And then I got 2 books inspired by the elements of time trope I really liked in books that mess with time. So as I mentioned, one of the books I'm planning is like a past lives romance. So when I saw this, I was like, this is like literally the book I'm writing. It's called Meet Me in Another Life by Catriona Silvey. And it says, under a ruined clock tower, Thora and Santi are about to meet for the very first time again. Their connection is instant. They feel like they've known each other forever. Maybe they have. Now they must unravel the mystery of their strange connection, but some mysteries take more than one lifetime to solve. They say to write the book that you would most want to read, and honestly, I really want to read this. This is the book I'm trying to write, so I hope I can get a lot of inspiration from this and still make this kind of storyline my own. If it's everything that I wanted to read, I may not even need to write it. And then this next book is kind of like a classic, I think, in the elements of time book trope. It is The Time Traveler's Wife. I think this is a really popular book, and also I think there's a show or a movie about it, and I just don't think I've read or watched it, which is wild because this is one of my favorite kind of book tropes. I love time travel, I love soulmates, and I really think this is everything I would love in a book. I read the first page and I was like, I am already obsessed with this. I want to drop everything I'm currently reading. But like I said, I have to finish Heir of Fire today, so I'm going to put in my headphones, get knitting, probably do some chores while listening to it, and hopefully report back later that I have finished. I was just cleaning my dishes and listening to Heir of Fire, and I just wanted to have a conversation about audiobooks and how amazing I think they are, not only for accessibility and allowing people who may struggle with getting into reading the ability to enjoy books and enjoy fiction maybe for the first time of their life. Like, a lot of people maybe didn't enjoy reading in school, but if they see a book recommendation on like Bookstagram or Book Talk, they may try the audiobook out and find a format that they love reading. And I see some conversations where people are minimizing reading on audiobooks, and honestly, I'm really new to audiobooks. I can struggle to focus on them if I am reading only on audio. Once I get lost in an audiobook, sometimes I can just be like, okay, I have no idea what's going on, and how many chapters ago did I get confused? So personally, that's a me problem, but I think for other people, their focus issues are with books, like physical reading with their eyes, and that's so valid. And if audiobooks allow you to enjoy reading, go for it. Please do not let people minimize that for you. Some people do that with me, and like my Kindle, like it isn't real reading because I'm not holding a physical book. No, that's not true. It is real reading. My brain is consuming a story. That is reading. No matter how you enjoy stories, I really hope they provide value to you and allow you an escape and allow you comfort. But I think it is just so important to make space for any and every type of reader, every genre, every format. No matter how much you read, no matter how often, if you enjoy reading, you are a reader, and there is space for you in this community. My Cozy Corner will always be a safe space for every cozy hobby, no matter how you like to read, no matter how you like to knit, or how often you do those things. I am happy you are here, and I am happy that you are finding comfort in your hobbies. So my son is currently watching Winnie the Pooh, if you hear that in the background, but I have absolutely knit up a storm. This weekend I split for the sleeves, so that means I was right here on Friday night, and since then I have knit all of this from like here down. And that is 300 stitches each round. I need to put this on a longer cord and try it on very soon to make sure it is a good fit, but it looks so big and cozy. I have one more skein after this, but this one is getting very low, and so I will definitely need more yarn. But update on Heir of Fire, I'm almost done with it. I only have like 10% to go. I think this morning I had 5 hours left to listen to, but I'm listening on 2 times speed. So really I've listened to like 2 hours. And I mean, as a mom, getting to like do this much self-care, it's involved a lot of screen time, but I have gotten many stitches in and so much reading done. My life doesn't look like this every day, but sometimes I go into my little self-care mode. But it's nice when we have this kind of quiet time, and he can relax, I can relax. Hello friends and happy Tuesday. It is getting so much colder here in Canberra, especially compared to like other Australian cities. Canberra's farther inland, so it gets a lot colder here. I think Australia is more of a warmer climate, so the homes are kind of built to keep the cold in, and it's doing a really good job, but unfortunately it just is so cold in the house no matter what we do, and there's no central heating. We do have a like wall heater, but it's not the same as like central heating, which I'm so used to in the States. But anyways, let's talk about reading. Yes, I finished my Heir of Fire audiobook just in time before it returned. It was so nice to reread my favorite book of my favorite series and just reaffirm how much I love it. I did update my review on Goodreads. If we're not friends already, make sure you add me. But of course, it was still 5 million stars. It's one of my favorite books of all time. I got so much cleaning done around the house while listening to my audiobook, and I got a lot of knitting done yesterday. I've gotten so far on the body of the sweater, and my goal for today is to get to the ribbing on the sweater. I definitely need to go back to the mall soon and grab some more yarn for this sweater because there's no way I'm going to be able to put the sleeves and the collar on with the yarn I have remaining. I literally have one skein left. And what I'm going to read next, I need to return to my read of The Fragile Threads of Power. It is a follow-up series to one of my favorite series, which is A Darker Shade of Magic. I'm definitely going to be returning to that on my Kindle, but I'm like 375 pages in, I believe, which is like 57%. I love that it has my favorite characters from the original trilogy of A Darker Shade of Magic, but also is introducing so many new characters that have unique powers, and I feel like I'm really invested in their stories as well because it feels like revisiting the same world of A Darker Shade of Magic, but now it's a whole new story, but it's also filling in the gap of the last 7 years that the timeline jumps ahead. Last night after my husband got home and I had finished the book, I decided to binge watch some Selling the OC because who doesn't love some reality TV? I mean, there's probably a lot of people. My husband totally rolls his eyes about it, but then gets invested, like especially when it's those reality dating shows. Selling Sunset is such a guilty pleasure watch for me. I try to avoid the term guilty pleasure because I think we should have no shame around our relaxing time, but I definitely do feel that way when I'm watching these shows, and it just like helps me turn my brain off and worry about these people's stupid drama that doesn't matter. I am trying on my August sweater for the first time. Obviously, it doesn't have sleeves yet or a collar, but I'm just trying to decide if I should do another repeat of the cable before doing the bottom band or if I am happy with this length. Keeping in mind that there's going to be another like 2 inches of bottom ribbing to finish it off. So I think by the time I finish up that ribbing, I would be happy with this cropped length. Overall, I think it's coming out nice. I do wish that the neck was not so high, but also in knitting, when you finish a project, you kind of have to wet block it, meaning submerge it and then pin it out the size you want it to be before you really know how it's going to lay and fit. I really like how much positive ease there is, and so the fit is quite loose and comfortable. Birds. Hi cozy friends, you may hear my son playing in the background. Good morning and happy Wednesday. So as you saw yesterday, I was able to get to the ribbing on the bottom of the body of this sweater. I did finish the body with only 3 cables instead of 4. I thought about continuing on, but I really like it cropped and I'm always wearing high-waisted pants anyways, and I just thought that this was a nice length on me. So I switched to smaller needles and I'm doing the ribbing. It is honestly killing my hands though. So the fact that I did so much knitting in the past few days and then am now on tinier needles, I'm just like needing to rest my hands and stretch so often. If you are a crafter or a knitter, please stretch your hands. Like, I'm pretty sure I'm getting early onset arthritis, which runs in my family. I like have a lot of joint pains and issues. So I really have to pace myself and take breaks when I knit. Yesterday I did do a little bit of reading of The Fragile Threads of Power and I'm enjoying that so much. My goals for today are to definitely finish the ribbing on the body of my August sweater. This is all of the wool I have left. By the time I'm done with the ribbing, this is going to be a lot less yarn. Let's see where I am in my book. I am on page 418, 60%. One of my favorite meals in the world is egg rolls, and as you saw, we made egg rolls last night and they were so good. Like, I literally couldn't stop eating them. I had to tell my husband to put them away in the fridge so that I would stop munching on them because we made like 20. We only had like 5 left by the end. My mom would always make egg rolls when I was growing up, and it was one of my favorite things she made. But whenever I cook, I hate frying things. I'm so scared to get popped. I don't like the smells. I don't like hot oil. So I decided to tell my husband, I'm making egg rolls, but you're doing the frying. Is that okay? And it was really nice because we don't cook together often. Usually one of us watches our son and the other cooks. Before I got pregnant with our son, I was honestly the primary cooker in our home. I cooked dinner even when I was working and in school and all of that. But when I got pregnant, I was like, my back hurts, I'm not cooking. So he just started taking an interest in cooking and watching like cooking videos like Joshua Weissman and stuff. He cooks dinner almost every night for us, which is wonderful because he's such a good cook. And anytime someone's coming over, they're requesting his meals, which is so awesome because it means I can kick my feet up or watch a toddler. But now I'm probably gonna get cozy and work on the ribbing of this sweater while my son plays with his cars. Something I forgot to mention is the ribbing on this project is in twisted rib, which means you're knitting through the back of the loop. And I don't mind that when it's like not this many stitches, but it's on tiny needles and 300 something stitches around. I have to do it for like 15 or 16 rows depending on how long I want the ribbing to be, which is like so exhausting on your hands. I will be taking lots of breaks while knitting on this, and don't forget to take breaks while you work on your knitting as well. Even your reading, it's good to rest your hands and your eyes. Our hobbies aren't supposed to be exhausting. They are supposed to be comforting. Something I notice a lot of in both communities, the knitting and the bookish community, sometimes we will turn our hobbies into something that is exhausting for us. Like, we're supposed to read 10 books a month. We're supposed to have impressive reading wrap-ups each month. We're supposed to have impressive finished objects at the end of each month, and it's just not realistic. For one, with knitting, I believe it is meant to be a slow craft. If you want a sweater at the end of each month, you should probably go to TJ Maxx, or here they call it TK Maxx. If you are a knitting content creator and you make a living off of knitting, sure, and same with reading. But if you are a regular person who has a job or you are a parent, it's not sustainable and it becomes not a comfort anymore. When I had a Bookstagram, I had a part-time job and was also in school full-time. And we didn't have a child yet, but I would read no less than 8 books a month. If I read less than 8 books a month, I felt like I hadn't read enough and that I had a bad reading month. And that is honestly 100% because I was surrounding myself with other Bookstagrams where they had like these big reading wrap-ups. And that's great, good for them. But I should not have held myself to some standard of what other people were doing for whether or not I was having a good reading month. Did I enjoy what I read? Did I enjoy the time I spent reading? Yes. Well, then it was a good reading one. Same with knitting. Even if I end a month and don't have a finished object, or even if I didn't get to work on a project very much, if I had a good time with the time I spent with my yarn, or if I purchased some yarn, there should be no guilt associated with our hobbies. There should be no shame. When you feel yourself going into reading slumps, I think a lot of the times it's because you are expecting yourself to read more than you're finding enjoyable currently. I think books and hobbies are meant to be there for us when we need that comfort and when we are seeking it, not for us to force it. And I think that's a really good conversation to have and be aware of when you are consuming content online in your community and not letting yourself feel behind. I hope this conversation and discussion resonated with you in some way, because it's something that's always on my mind, and it's so nice to have a place where I can have these kinds of discussions now. So now I am going to keep on knitting and unravel. While I have been knitting up a storm, I've been listening to my audiobook. If you don't already know this trick, you should watch this video up here, where I talk all about how to turn any ebook you have into an audiobook and make your book read aloud to you. This trick can work both on Kindle and on your iPhone. I find it a lot easier on iPhone, and then it also syncs up with my Kindle app, so when I do open it back up on my Kindle, it catches right back up to the last page I was on my phone. But it's such a convenient way to be able to like read books on ebook and not have to purchase the audiobook as well, but still get to read while knitting. It's so fun. I know some knitters can read ebooks while knitting, and that is just not the level I'm at. I would drop 10 stitches and be on the same paragraph as when I started knitting by the time I'm done. So I'm so glad I can utilize this hack, or this feature, really. It's an accessibility feature, in order to read more and read while knitting. It's such an immersive experience to get to enjoy both my hobbies at the same time, and it's very meditative. I'm able to like escape into my fantasy worlds while getting some stitches in, and it is just so calming. Let me know if you watched that video and if that trick has been helping you at all. I am so proud of how those videos are doing. You guys seem to really love it. And if you watched that video and subscribed and are watching this one now, thank you so much for sticking around, and welcome to my cozy corner. I hope you enjoy your time here, and I hope you enjoy unraveling with me. Hi cozy friends, and happy Friday. Yesterday I had a bit of a bad health day, so I just decided to take some rest. I did read my Kindle. I ended up getting to page 552, which is 79% of my book. I feel like I got so much knitting and reading done this week. I think I am gonna wrap the vlog up here. I wanna thank you so much for unraveling and getting cozy with me. Please let me know down in the comments what you were working on while watching, or what you're reading this week. Make sure you tap subscribe so you don't miss future cozy videos. Don't forget to follow me on Goodreads and Instagram so that we can be friends. And I'll be wishing you a very cozy week.